Hello, everybody. You could call me Hunch. We got a lot to talk about today. Everything I say is not financial advice. If you're new here, I'm doing a case study on a theoretical portfolio. That portfolio consisted of Bitcoin DeFi. I've spread out to ordinals and another one called Trio, which is how you mint ordinals. It's a good business model, I believe. But today we're going to be talking about L2s. We're going to be talking about memes again, which are never part of a theoretical portfolio. I don't need to go over the risks again. Everybody knows the risks. I'm talking about runes, talking about everything else. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. So, I tweeted this today. Still the only one calling for a good chance of bear chop sideways for 6 months to 2 years. There's a lot of reasons for that, right? I think there's a lot of PvP. There's not a lot of new money coming in. I think the world is more on fire than people want to admit. I think the Fed made a terrible, terrible mistake. I might have tweeted that with regards to inflation. I do think they can still cause a recession, and they should cause a recession to get inflation under control before we hyperinflate or do anything so catastrophic that we can't even talk about it anymore. So I think they made a terrible mistake. I think everyone is discounting this risk too much, but I digress. There's also other reasons. Things like MERL chain, their native token, which released at this huge valuation, which seems like a huge red flag to me. 2.44 billion. Okay, and the biggest meme token on it is Hoo at 7.6 million. Okay, so you can see the cat up there. I think that's a huge red flag. I still think this is was spun up in 3 months, fed to you guys, and VCs or the founders are going to dump on you, but I digress. Say it does pump. I still think you'll do better in something like BVM, right, which has been up only since we started talking about it. There's not even that much data on it. Let's see if we let's see if we can get some yeah, so it's been up only since we're talking about BVM, which is Bitcoin virtual machine. A lot of people think there's red flags, especially in the stacks community. I don't disagree. I also think you'll do better in stacks, right? The chart isn't really telling me much right now, but I've been in this for years. Everyone who watches me has been known I'm a hyper permeable in this. I do think BVM is going to outperform just because it's a smaller market cap. I think they're moving a little bit more dynamically in the short term, but long term, Stacks is more decentralized. It's more important. It's more valuable, in my opinion, for those reasons. So, what did I say? Okay, so now everybody knows I've been talking about Nakamoto meme season when it comes out. Runes just came out. So I tweeted, I think there's going to be one more massive pump of memes, if there is, right? It's getting a little out of control, right? So this kook guy said runes are here, and everyone's talking about Bitcoin meme coins. The real important narrative is going to be Bitcoin DeFi, Daddy Chain, DeFi 500 billion, right? So meme coins are just to bring people in. The real end game is Bitcoin DeFi, fair and open financial systems, right? But if you are going to trade in runes, they are over here, okay? So on Unisat, there's a few others. You can mint them fairly on Lumix. Okay, if you don't know what that is, just go look it up. It's on your Xverse app, whatever, in the browser. So let's see. So you got runes over here, right? You can do explore. Okay, all these are minted out, right? Satoshi Nakamoto is already at over 100 million, right? I mean, it's out of control. It's getting listed on exchanges, so I would be careful. I mean, you probably are going, so I mean, some of these are going to hit $1 billion, right? So but you got to be very careful. The fees are extremely high. I probably should be buying these things, but I'm not. It's just a meme. Maybe I will. I'm going to kind of watch it a little bit, but to me, this is playing into the theme that this is just getting way out of control. There's no rhyme or reason for anything pumping anymore, right? There's no real narrative other than the meme coin narrative. But if it does come back, right, I really like Valar, even though I have something to say about them in the end. I do think they are have a real business model. I think they can correct the ship if they do it right. DIKO, absolutely still bullish on them. Relatively low market caps. Alex, still hyper bullish on this. Really good business models. Now, in terms of Valar, right, I think they know what they're doing. I think it's a little unethical But if you go look at Odin on Stacks Tools, bots are buying this thing. I like guarantee it. I think they're buying it themselves to pump it, right? It's only on this exchange. I could be wrong. I mean, but it's not unreasonable to believe when you go look at every wallet buying Odin and it pumping, even though Bitcoin was continuing to go down, that the exchange is doing something sketchy with this, or some type of bot or foreign person, right? Because nothing is in the wallets that are buying these things but Odin. Like, not even Stacks is in the wallet. So, and I also heard I don't think they're paying gas fees. So, this guy, NFT Luniac, right? Stacks memes are flying. I think it's important to continue to pay attention to Stacks memes, even though I am not going to be talking about them as much. People really are way over the top in terms of Stacks and memes. They're out of control, right? I mean, the Welsh community, the Rug community, the Rock community, the Pepe, right? The most normal one, I think, is not, right? Because people really don't care, because it's about nothing, right? I mean, the whole point is it's about nothing, and it's personally my favorite meme. But, you know, I digress. Ethereum is starting to wake up. Moon, Pombu, Pumbaa, whatever it is. So if we do get a Nakamoto meme season, these things look ready. I'm most bearish on Welsh. I'll tell you why. It's not the first dog coin on Bitcoin. It's not the first meme coin on Stacks. The PR department is stinky dinky. So, you know, but in terms of like not being in it, right? There's a risk to not being in that. I fully acknowledge that. So, anyway, you can call me hunch. I'm not convinced that we're not entering some type of long-term consolidation, or even possibly a bear market, right? If you look at runes, if you look at inflation, if you look at the wars, right? I mean, like, at some point, there's too much evidence to deny, right? But some people will also say, well, that's the reason Bitcoin is pumping, right? I mean, that's you know, I don't think so. I don't think the normal financial system is ready to just implode yet. I think that, in fact, I think that's an unreasonable stance to take, even though it may be a correct one, right? I do think you're unreasonable if you take that stance. So here we are, Pepe, you know, not... I think if all these Nakamoto meme season pops off, the Rune meme season pops off, I think eventually it has to come to Bitcoin DeFi, because what are we really doing here? You know, building Las Vegas on the internet. I mean, that's great. I'm all for that, but eventually something, it has to rotate back. So anyway, you can call me Hunch, memes, and then DeFi. Do the DeFi. That's what I think. Love you. Bye.